profound anger.
Reap the whirlwind.
Set you alight.
Acorn in your eye. Hoodwink. First blood, always the sweetest. First blood, well that sets a tone. First blood, gotta be quick when I'm around. First blood, and it's still pulsing. First blood, and just a crazy amount of it really. I don't know what that horse had against me, but enough's enough. That's what happens when you get a bruiser to fight your battles for you. You get soft. Hate to shatter your dreams, you frigid idiot. You, eh? To be honest, I was hoping for the other one. The other one might have had better luck. This one's heaps of fun. Get to kill him again and again. Glad I didn't get zapped. If I had a gold piece for every Aglodi I killed, I'd have enough to start using acorns for impractical purposes. I'll never burn that sight out of my brain. That bat had a giant parasite. I probably did him a favour. Look, you knew we weren't going to get along, just on general bloody principle. You're better off drinking maple syrup. Oh, mate, this one must really sting for you, eh? I'm getting tipsy just from the stench. Neath those pickers, you're mince like all the rest. Choice! I needed some silk. I reckon this one was worthy of at least a little respect. What's more chaotic than that? If I say what I feel, my tongue might turn black and fall off. This one feels better than most. You're lucky we never ran into each other when you were alive. You never would have survived to be cursed. Yeah, you were pretty chill. Shame, really. Cheer up, eh? Now you can stop whinging about your great sacrifice. Yay for the mischief, but what's with the greed? That's just a waste of your time. Think you're special or something? I'm gonna get huge props for this back home. Are they bloody serious with these people? Where does someone like that even come from? Never had much time for pity parties. Where do you get off? Oops, killed them both instead of just one. As you can see, I'm somewhat of a disruptor myself. All that power. Just another case of a stunning lack of imagination. Wait a second. That dragon could have chosen anyone, and he chose you? What the hell is wrong with this world? You obviously weren't born for this. I'm surprised nobody showed you sooner. Hey, what a coincidence! My first hard targets to practice with were little rolling rocks. I guess it prepared me better than I thought. It was like aiming at the broadside of an oak. What could be easier? See, the trick is, never set limits for yourself. I never set out to kill a titan, but I never thought I couldn't neither. Shooting out candles and torches is easy, but destroying the essence of flame itself? Yeah, I'll take it. You can't tell me what to do, I tell me what to do. How can someone with no face look so damn smug? Look, I gave him a proper face. Let's just call those bloodstains tears. I'm all out of pity for the likes of you. Should I tell you what I've got planned for your little contraption? That's for singeing the fur. Yeah, magic's pretty neat and all, but nothing compares to a heavy bolt and a dead-shot eye. Dying light's already a cliche after all. Those two dragons crashed together so hard, they merged into one dumber, slower dragon. Hoods are way better than masks, just saying. Hey, old-timer, the sun sets on everybody, whether they like it or not. You can think of these trees as masts if it helps you die in peace. I'm not joining your bloody legion. Wait, there's one of you here too? Bro, she is not going to be happy that I killed you. Oh well, she already had it out for me anyway. You cold dead guys are all the same. Don't you have a convention to be at or something? Did you see that bloke? There's no way he's not thanking me, and if he's not, he should be. You singed the fur! There's no coming back from that, mate. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna lop that hand off. I heard I could trade some favours for it in some dumb wizard town. I'm not here to explain what went wrong. It's just obvious that something did. I mean, otherwise, I reckon a lot of people felt you had this coming. But that lot's just a bunch of bloody whingers. I did this for fun. Yeah, with how fast you are, you got no one to blame here but yourself. I mean, you could have been literally anywhere else. Spare me your noble sob story. What's it got to do with me? Okay, this is a real feather in my cap. Sure as. Yeah, dodging snakes is nothing new for me, lady. What else you got? Sorry, Meepo. You shouldn't have looked at where I was digging. That was classic misdirection. Even if the lady hadn't been crazy, I'd have had to kill the cat. Can't have mass murderers running around. Looks like I'm the king of mischief now. Oh, mate, that kinda makes me need to go, you know? Heck, with that singing voice, it was either Bolt or Bolter, and I felt like staying. Look, I told you I'm not big on affiliations. Stay out of wherever I am. Yeah, sorry. People with your attitude just rub me the wrong way. My uncle used to tell me bedtime stories about you. Those were some great adventures. Real happy to have killed you. Who doesn't like squishing bugs? Yeah, I got a fair bit of luck myself. My uncle used to say I was right blessed, on account of not dying like all my other kin. Hey, just what this place needed. Another self-righteous metal marcher on some higher quest. Wait, I want to think of one you never heard before, or after. Yeah, I'm not really keen on what you said about dying in a fire. That's what my crossbow likes to call a trigger warning. Heard you were some kind of big hullabaloo. I didn't come here to prove anything, but I guess I just did. Bloody muppet, what were you thinking? Roll along home, you silly bastard. I can hit anything, doesn't matter how blurry. Wouldn't it been better to die all peaceful like, dangling a pole in the river? Not with 2 bolts in the dome. When I was just a little bit, I used to wish upon shooting stars. Then I realised that was stupid and just learned to shoot instead. They used to tell stories about this one in the Tomo'kan, quite the little troublemaker. This'll gain me even more respect. Ugh, the stench though. How do you get that taste out of your mouth? You coddled little tail jerker. Someone should have done this ages ago. Ma'am, this is a forest, not wherever it is you think you're supposed to be. You should have gone to ground. Yeah, we're light years apart, mate. Whatever can be made can be unmade, I figure. Had to leave you cracked and bleeding. I could smell those fakes a mile away. Shadow tail over shadow demon. That's what you get for hoarding. Shadow tail over shadow fiend. I said no snakes of any kind. Shadow tail over shadow shaman. Yeah, a lot of people have tried to shut me up. This is how it always plays out. Anyone feeling peckish? I don't take kindly to being punched by fish. I told you to stay off my turf, gill boy. Don't cry for the likes of her. Ignorance isn't innocence. Anyone seen an ugly little goblin lady riding a big dumb lizard? Eat that, you powder-using puffer. One keen down, but plenty more to go. No one's gonna miss you, not even you. On this plane, you're just a bobby after all. Sorry, I didn't feel like staying in today. Looks like the power grid's out, mate. My first thought was your sword's impractical, but now I see it's actually impracticable. That's for ruining such a choice word. Choke on your black powder, scumbags. Never had much time for book smarts, and this right here's the reason why. I don't need books to argue a point. Don't you ever get tired of yourself? Oh, bloody hell! This one's corpse is gonna reek! If I see one more of you little bastards in my trees, I'll rain down blood on every last one of ya! Dig? Nothing personal, Tinker. I'm just prejudiced. I've known some tinies in my time. You, sir, are no tiny. Bummer! I think he had some of my stash. Oh well, I'll find more. Chill, bro. What, did you think I got a problem with snow? I'm right at home. Wonder if I can turn these horns into some sort of charm. That's a smell'll strip bark off trees. Got enough critters in these woods already. Everyone's got problems, lassie. Yours ain't mine. I'd eat slug if times were tight, but they ain't. Lot harder to fly with all those arrows in you. Even if I cared for your rules, it's not even close to my time yet. Guess you should have showed up sooner. So you cut down trees to turn them into books about demons? Yeah, you had this coming. Honestly, I just saw him out of the corner of my eye and started shooting. Was instinct, really. Couldn't take my word for it, could ya? Yeah, friends is kind of a loose term for me. Sorry. I don't know if we were enemies, but that poem was depressing as all get out. Think I'll pass. My uncle went to the doctor once and never came back. You want these little bones of mine? Gonna have to do better than that. Since you're not a god anymore, I feel like I can ask you, why are you so messed up? See keen, shoot keen. It's simple, really. Yeah, I guess sometimes people think they can push me around, but it's easy enough to educate them. Like the Thornridge gang. Thought they could bully me into being some sort of gopher. The first two came to find me, I let go minus a few pints and pieces. The next four? Well, only one of them crawled away at all, and I kept more than my fair share. Of course, you'd have to be an idiot to keep coming at me after a thing like that. So the next six I treated real special. Enough to make a demon cry. After that, I'd be the idiot if I just left things on course. So I crossed out the whole lot of them. The locals who found the bodies decided the place is cursed. So it makes a choice hideout if you're ever in need. Paws down, the most dangerous beastie in the deep wood is the Durana. And the danger's not just the tentacles or the teeth or the paralytic secretions neither. It's the temptation, the loss of control. Because Durana pheromones aren't for breeding, they're for feeding. And they affect different folk in different ways. You haven't seen bonkers till you've seen a column of cavalry get swept up in the Durana days. Some going giggly, others going mad. Not a single one looking out for hungry beasties slinking up behind. I don't have to worry though. That stuff only works on bigger prey. So even when one does feel inclined to snatch at me, well, tentacles and teeth only go so far. First thing you need to know about the Durana, they aren't natural. Sure, they breed faster than swamp rabbits. But the first ones were conjured up out of thin air by some wizard. And wizards are morons, so of course the beasties got out of control and ran amok. So now everybody's got to deal with this horrific invasive species that likes to eat grown men for a snack. Though there's some in the pacified lands who think I'm an invasive species. Maybe they're not wrong. When I can figure out how to bait the Durana into Crimol anyway, I guess we're going to find out. My uncle used to say we'd never have had to leave home if that little goblin lady never showed up selling her magic powder. Crimol was mostly harmless before they got the black powder. And whether she meant for them to suss out how to make it for themselves or not, point is, they'd never in a jillion years have done it without getting their mitts on it in the first place. Once they got it though, their appetites grew. All their appetites. And any of us living on the lands they wanted had no choice but to surrender, run, or die to make a stand. So we came to the wood Tomo'kan, the dark wood, where they say bad things await all warm bloods that enter. Wasn't always that way, I guess, but it has been the stretch of my life. Used to just be some normal woods, but then the wizard trials came. Some big old wizard school set 'em up. Big tests to show off and challenge their rising stars. But nothing's worse in the world than a wizard out to prove something. And they go and gather them all up in one place. Something bad was bound to happen, and it did. So all the normal folk had to leave the Tomo'kan. All you got left living there now's the outlaw type and those who got no other choice. No sane folk would settle in the dark wood now. And of course, while all their little traps and beasties and gym jams are everywhere, there's not a wizard to be found. Who needs him? Till recently, I never had much interest in seeing my old home. Who wants to see pacified lands when the stories of old are better? In the end, it wasn't the idea of the place that took me scouting back, but memories of my kin. I wondered if some might still be out there, proper citizens of Crimwell now. It was enough to take me to the tree line anyway. Even if I didn't find anyone worth seeing, I was sure I could scare up a bit of fun. The first time I saw one of the work camps, I knew I'd be back. There was so much to muck up, I could keep busy for days. I never really thought about helping anyone escape. I thought they wanted to be there. Even now, I know heaps of them do. But there were some who saw the lure of freedom, even if the price seemed too steep. Life in the dark wood's not easy, but the cunning can step free from the sight of would-be rulers. And for some folk, like me, that's enough. Most of my life, I thought my little sis carked it back on the night of fire. But a few seasons back, I was tracking along the tree line near the pacified zone and, well, I'd know that red tail anywhere. She was out with some sort of work crew? Farming or some nonsense, like there weren't a world of food a few leaps away. I couldn't get 2 steps towards her unless I wanted to light the place up. And I didn't even know if she remembered me. She was hardly bigger than a biscuit back when. Not the right move to reintroduce myself with a massacre, probably. I watched for a spot to catch her out, but the overseers kept a bloody harsh eye. Then the whole bunch scampered off, and I burned the crops. I've been back there now lots of times, but she hasn't, far as I can see. I have seen some familiar faces amongst the work crews. And I'm sure I would have known heaps of the others if all our lives hadn't gone up like a keg of powder. I always try not to hurt any of those types when I go in for a bit of fun with the guards. But anyone who tries to fight is fair game. I doubt we would have been that close anyway. Every now and then some city stinking crew will venture out into the brush trying to find whatever dumb thing's the latest fancy. Even without my help, they'd end up dead one way or another. Sure as, no greenhorns last long in the deep wood. So I reckon what's the harm in taunting them a bit before they go? There's always the classic Durana bait game. But you can also get creative with the dangerous terrain and other fun features of the forest. Have you ever seen a carnivorous plant could take down a man? Yeah, none of those blokes had either. I've been yapping long enough. Let's fight! Enough of story time. We gonna win this thing or what? Thanks!